Hello, I'm Dr. Nathan Swain, Chief Paranormal Investigator with Dark Encounters Investigated. Every case that has come across my desk, every case that has launched the DEI team into an investigation began with one thing, a story. A story of a paranormal encounter told to us by one or more eyewitnesses. People who believe that what they experienced was from beyond our physical world. In this special DEI program, you're going to hear firsthand from some of those people. Their comments are unrehearsed, unscripted, and perhaps a little too real for comfort. Dark Encounters Investigated begins now.
Somewhere out there are worlds other than ours, worlds of the paranormal and supernatural, where the laws of flesh and blood do not apply. There are times when the thin barrier separating that world from ours is shattered by events and entities too powerful to be contained. And when that happens, a team of paranormal investigators look for answers to those strange and mysterious dark encounters.
Welcome to this special episode of Dark Encounters Investigated. My special guest at this time is someone who sent an email to DEI a few months ago. In it, he told us stories of personal paranormal encounters that we found to be remarkable. But rather than hear those stories from us, we thought you should hear them from him. Here now is Mr. Buford Yates from Burns, Tennessee. Welcome, Mr. Yates.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. You've lived in Dixon County, Tennessee area for most of your life?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And you're familiar with many of the stories and legends that are told in this area. Tell us something about Werewolf Springs.
Ever since I can remember, there's always been different tales, different encounters of that area, Werewolf Springs. I know people that will not go and visit that place at nighttime, and I'm one of those people. I've heard too many tales and stuff, and I was born and raised in Burns, and have heard, cries at night and different things that I can't explain, and I know it's just an area that you couldn't catch me in at nighttime.
One of the incidents that you mentioned in your email was about an incident that occurred near a camp area. Tell us about that.
It was called Camp Saratoma at the time, and the camp was preparing to getting ready for the girls, the Girl Scouts or whatever to come for the summer. They had just finished getting the pool ready, and me and two of my friends snuck down one night and went swimming in the pool. The pool has a fence all the way around it, and I guess it's probably maybe 60 feet off the road, and there's a street light out there. So we were, having fun, swimming and all this, and I went to the end of the pool to look out just to make sure no one was coming so we couldn't, get caught. I saw someone bent over and was trying to sneak up on you. And I looked at my friends and I told them, to be quiet, that, we've been caught. And this thing stopped and came across to the pool, right up to the fence, which was approximately 20 feet away. I looked at it, and it was about 6 feet tall. It had hair all over it, including its head. I sort of screamed, hollered, or whatever, a little bit, and scared it. It went around back of the pool where it was dark. I jumped out of the pool, grabbed the flashlight, and shined the light on it, and I could see it, and it had two glowing red eyes. At that point, I threw the flashlight down and started running back and forth from the pool, and my friends got out, and they knew I had saw something because they said I was white as a sheet, and I was terrified. You know, you can call it a Bigfoot or, you know, or whatever, but I do know one thing. I know that I saw it. I didn't see any animal or anything like that. It was something that was, you know, human-like. It's about 6 feet tall and had hair just all over its body.
Our special Dark Encounters Investigated program continues with a young lady who says paranormal encounters have occurred frequently throughout her life. She told us her stories, and now she's here to tell you. With me now is Kyla Simmons. Welcome to Dark Encounters Investigated, Kyla.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Thank you for being here. Now, you're only 21 years old now, but apparently you've had several paranormal experiences in your life.
Yes, I have.
Why don't you tell us about a few of those?
Okay. I run a website, and I'm the leader of our investigations when we go out on hunts. And we go and we seek out ghosts about every weekend, and we've had some really strange experiences. One time we were at a cemetery in Big Sandy, Tennessee, and everybody had always told us there were ghosts there, and then somebody led us to this trail that went behind the cemetery, and it was about 5 of us, and we went walking back in there, and as we were walking back, my brother was snapping pictures as he went, and we got to this clearing and decided to go on ahead, and we got to a fallen tree, and we were all sitting there talking about whether we should go forward. And then all of a sudden, 2 of us looked at each other and we just said, run, because we felt something coming up toward us fast in the woods. And we're running through the woods as fast as we can, and I grabbed a hold of one of the hunters that was with us, and it grabbed his foot. And he would have been there if I hadn't have just kept pulling. We got out into the clearing, my brother took a picture, there was nothing there, and then when we went home and put them on the computer, there was this misty fog with shapes in it.
In the photograph?
Yes. That happens a lot.
That kind of thing where you capture images in
Yes.
a photograph that aren't there?
Yes, we get lots of orbs in our pictures and just things that weren't there to begin with.
Well, it's known around here as the Kelly House, due to the fact that there was a family named the Kellys that lived in it. The story that I've always heard growing up dates all the way back to late 1850s, pre-Civil War, I know, before the Civil War. The family came over from California. Most people think that it was due to the fact that his wife, Kelly's wife, was involved in a cult. So he brought her over here to get her away from it. And obviously he didn't. It followed her. You know, my dad would tell us, you know, stories about it and tell us we didn't need to come around it that much by ourselves. Biggest things that I would say happened to me out here. I'd been brought out here when I was, I think, 11 years old with my older brother and another guy, and they had brought me out here. I think really to try to scare me. I don't think they were really planning on anything happening, obviously. And they got out here and were, of course, telling me some of the stories that I've just told you. And in the middle of the story, the oldest guy that was with us was telling it. We heard something run across the upstairs. We were in the house. And the interesting thing about that is that you can't run upstairs in this house. It's just rafters. There's no way you could run across it. You know, if you try to run, you're going to go through the ceiling. But we heard something definitely run across the ceiling above us. So Michael, the older guy, got up to go around and check it out and told us to stay where we were. Of course, we followed him. We got around there, and there's an old doorway that leads into the upstairs. And we pulled the door back and started up towards the attic area. When we all got about eye level with the rafters where we could see over them, we could tell something was in the corner, in the far corner from us. Of course, it was dark. And I wouldn't say it was a silhouette of a person. I wouldn't say it wasn't. I don't really know what it was. It was definitely something solid and something very big. There's an old chimney that comes through up there that had fallen in. Michael picked up one of the bricks and threw it at the object, whatever it was, instead of hitting something solid like a wall or the floor, it was like you had punched somebody. That feeling, you know, that soft feeling. It had caught right in there, and whatever it was jumped, ran straight towards us, and of course we screamed like a bunch of little girls, and we're gone.
It was several years later. I'd graduated from school, moved to Nashville, and I had a roommate, and I guess I was probably around 19 years old. We double dated one night and went out to eat, and we decided to go down there and and scare the girls. So we went under the railroad underpath, parked the car, and started walking down the graveyard. At this time, they had the graveyard was full, and they had stopped burying people there, and they put a cable up across the road so nobody could drive down there. It was a full moon, and we started walking, and we come around this bend and to a straightaway, and we saw something in the middle of the road. We all took off running, went back to the car, and I guess curiosity got the best of me. I kept asking, "Come on, let's go see what it is," and all this stuff, and they wouldn't do it. So I got brave enough to go myself, because I definitely wanted to see what it was. So I was scared to death, and I walked back down there, and when I went around the bend, I could see it, and the closer I got, I could tell that it was a car, and I could hear music playing. So I walked up to the car, and there was a boy and a girl. They looked like they were, in their late 20s, and sitting on the car. The girl had a long skirt on, dressed maybe like the 40s, and their car was a early 1940s car. I asked them, how they were doing, all this stuff, and we talked a little bit, and they were, just saying that they were there listening to the music, enjoying the night, and it was a beautiful night, and so we talked just for a few minutes, and I got ready to leave, and I asked him, I said, just for curiosity, how did you drive your car back here? I said, they've got a cable across the road, and the guy said, well, we came in the back road back here, and back for the back of the graveyard. I had, like I said, I was born and raised there, and I had been through every field, all over those woods, and I didn't know of a road. So I said, okay, I'm sorry to bother y'all, and I left. The next day, my roommate and I drove back down, and we walked that whole area. There was no way that a car could get in there, and of course, he didn't believe me that what I saw. And we inspected that area really good, because at that point, knowing what I saw and knowing that a car couldn't get back there, sort of scared me a little bit. And so like I said, he didn't believe me either. So and it's I haven't told this tale to anyone, not that much.
It's just fascinating. Mr. Yates, I'm going to ask you a very poignant question. Do you believe in ghosts?
Yes. I believe there are spirits and stuff, and what I've saw and things that I've heard and stuff. I really believe that there are such things as spirits, ghosts, or whatever you want to call them.
When I was living in Paris, Tennessee, I was home alone one night, and I was on the computer, and I decided I needed to go take a shower. And when I went back to take a shower, I was hearing things up in the living room, and I just thought somebody might have came home. I got out of the shower, and the chairs that were sitting at the computer were underneath the ceiling fan in the middle of the room, kind of stacked side by side, and then all the things that were on the computer desk were strewn about the room. And I checked all the doors, they were all still locked, and then later on that night, my brother went to go to sleep, and he reached up to turn on the ceiling fan, and he said that there was just this cold, clammy hand that just clamped around him. And lights would come on and off, they would shatter, but the other ones would be fine. And we'd hear footsteps going all up and down the halls. at all hours of the night when everybody was accounted for. And it was just very strange.
And these types of incidents, do they continue to occur? Do you have any knowledge of that?
Yes, they do.
To this day?
Yes. I was friends with a guy that lived there after us, and he was afraid to sleep in the house. He would sleep out in his car because he said that he was getting really depressed, and he could not sleep in his bedroom because he would see shapes going all across the walls, and the lights would be going on and off, and he would just feel really hot when it was supposed to be cold outside, or really cold when it was supposed to be hot, and he couldn't handle it, so he moved out.
Do you believe that what you've experienced a number of times in your life, do you believe that these occurrences are in fact ghosts or spirits or some type of activity like that? Do you ever feel in danger?
Yes. When we were running through the woods, we felt like if we didn't get out of there, our lives may be in danger.
Believe it or don't believe it. It doesn't make it any less true.
And now you've heard the stories of people who claim to have experienced the fear of an encounter with the paranormal. Perhaps many of you share that same experience, or the fear that someday you too will have your own encounter. My thanks to the people who contacted us and had the courage to tell their stories. One story in particular, that of Corey Williams, is developing into a DEI investigation, so keep watching. If you have a story to tell, our email address is dei@ourcenter.org. Let us know your story and what you think of the show. In the meantime, remember, in the world of the paranormal and supernatural, knowledge is your best weapon. Stay informed.
I don't like the looks of this at all.
I'm not so sure I do either. Hey, Dex, you want to go in and take a look for us?
It's got setup written all over it, guys.
What do you mean he's coming? You gotta...
Well, he disappeared!
Okay, come on, guys. Nathan! Come on, dude.
In the beginning time, for most of the native cultures in this country, and as well as a lot of the native cultures in other countries such as South America and Australia and over in Africa, all of these places have what you'd call shapeshifters of their own type. There's a fine line between staying on the light side of the spirit world and crossing over into the dark side sometimes. Well, I've heard of one instance where the dark side had gotten a hold of this person so strongly, and the dark wind blew in them so strong that they wound up committing suicide. They are kept to the point where they will never hurt anybody again in one way or another once they're returned to the people.
don't like the looks of this at all.
I'm not so sure I do either. Hey, Dex, you want to go in and take a look for us?
It's got setup written all over it, guys.
What do you mean he's coming? You gotta...
What? He just appeared!
Okay, come on, guys. Nathan! Come on, Dave.
Somewhere out there are worlds other than ours. Worlds of the paranormal and supernatural, where the laws of flesh and blood do not apply. There are times when the thin barrier separating that world from ours is shattered by events and entities too powerful to be contained. And when that happens, a team of paranormal investigators look for answers to those strange and mysterious dark encounters.
Hi, I'm Jake Manley with DEI. For those of you who watch this show, it's around this time that Dr. Nathan Swain walks out here and introduces the case. Well, that's not going to be happening right now. There's a good reason for that. You're about to find out why.
A shapeshifter is an entity, a spirit that can take the shape of whatever animal it has requested.
Well, I have to admit that shape-shifting is something I know very little about, but I do know that Native people of many countries, especially Native Americans, believe that there are people with the ability to change themselves into animals, and when something is believed that strongly, you'd be crazy not to at least respect it.
This case began like most others, several phone calls and emails, and we're in another small town. The stories we were hearing were stranger than most, but some of the stories came from a credible source.
The reason I called the DEI team, a couple of months ago we had a young man come into town by the name of Carl Hunter. At least that's what he calls himself. Ran a criminal history on this young man, did background checks, fingerprints. Nothing to come back of that name of Carl Hunter. He's a fairly nice young man when he came into town. About a couple of weeks ago, it just changed. Came rowdy, started fighting in bars. And just the other night, he was arrested for public drunk. He was placed in the drunk tank, had a deputy inside. Come back the next morning, Mr. Hunter was gone, nowhere to be found.
We tracked down Owen Miller, the guy sharing the drunk tank with our suspected shifter. He wasn't excited about talking to us at first, but once he started, he had quite a story to tell.
I was incarcerated in a local jail in one of our fine counties, and they brought this fellow in, and he was kind of intoxicated, and of course I was kind of intoxicated, and then he started chanting like an Indian, and the lights flickered, and they went off, and all of a sudden I heard this like a buzzing noise, like a snake, and the lights came back on, and there was this big snake where this guy had been standing, and
Wait a minute. You understand what you're saying to us, what you're telling us?
Yes, sir. It's a man who changed into a snake, and by the time I decided I better get out of there, so I headed towards the door, and I hit the door, and I don't know if I passed out or got knocked out. Next thing I know, the guards are standing over me, and they're telling me that, where'd the guy go? And I told them I don't know.
Now here's the problem. On rare occasions, people have gone to the dark side after they've received the name of one or two creatures that they can shift into. They can really cause a lot of damage if they're left to their own devices.
Okay, so we need to simply handle this like we do any other investigation. We need to walk it through one step at a time, one block at a time. And when we put all the pieces together, we'll be able to make something out of it. Now, Jake, where do we stand right now?
What we have right now, you know, the police officer, we spoke with him, got him, and he's, you know, seems pretty solid, but then the only other guy you got to verify this is the drunk guy, Miller, and that's real iffy. Real
Yeah,
shaky.
that testimony, I'm worried about the credibility of
Yeah,
that.
that's real shaky, and the whole thing is shaky when you think about, you know, it's, I guess you could say in a sense it's, on the surface it's ridiculous, shape-shifting, changing into an animal. We do strange things, yeah, but that's...
Now, I beg to differ.
We live in shaky.
Well,
we specialize in shaky.
But aside from that, shape-shifting, that's a pretty prominent feature with Native Americans in particular, a lot of other Native cultures. They believe very strongly in that. So I think it's not right for us to brush it off as ridiculous.
Well, so here's what we need to do. We do have some information to go on. We've got this mug shot. We know what this person looks like.
Right.
It's not a very big town, small place. He can't be that hard to find. Fairly noticeable individual. We just need to get out there. We need to beat the pavement, and we need to find this guy.
Okay, track him down.
Yeah. Just gonna have to.
We spent most of the next night or two searching for him. It was like chasing a shadow. Then we got lucky.
Whoa, Jake, that's him. That's him. Keep going, don't stop. Don't slow down, keep going. I'm positive that's him. I think he saw us. Pull up here, get off the main road. Just pull back around the same street we went on. Let's turn off to the side early so we can find a place to hide out for a second. Jake,
what's the next step?
I want you to be the one that goes in to initiate contact, and we will stay back and survey.
You can forget it. That's not my thing. That's a Dex thing.
Dex is not here right now. We need you to step up to the plate. We need you to help us get this done. We've got an opportunity. We've got this man right here in our sights. I know, and I'm asking you to do it. You've got to do it, Jake.
Surveillance was set up in an alley several yards from where we saw the guy called Carl Hunter. This is mine. This is my job.
It's all right. We need you to step up right now, Jake.
I'm stepping.
Dex isn't here. It's his job.
You guys,
there's no question.
listen. Something happens. You gotta come running.
We'll be there for you.
Because I won't have any. You'll be hearing me, but I won't have any communication with you also.
We can hear you and we can see. We'll be there for you. You want to check it?
Yeah.
Yes. There we go. Okay. Well,
Yeah, we got it.
okay.
Stay cool. Do your job. You getting all this, JC?
Yeah, it's looking good.
Everybody hold tight. Yes, there he is. That's him.
Hi. Hi. I'm not trying to bother you. I'm new here in town. I just got in, and I'm just wondering, looking for a place I could just stay for the night. Maybe find a place to get something. Just something to eat. And I've just been here a couple hours. Came in. I've just been here.
Where'd you come from?
It just came from another state, and I'm just kind of here just to see if I can get some work and something like that. And you live here in town? You live here? Close by?
I'm around here, yeah.
But, well, because you would know the town, and you could tell me where to go.
I can tell you what to do.
Shoot knife. What? That's it. What? He's got a knife?
Yeah, I am. But look, I shouldn't have bothered you. It looks like you're working, and I should have done that. So listen, I'm just going to head on, and I'll find a place, some place to eat or something like that. And anyway.
You come in town all alone?
Okay. Well, look, I gotta go.
Come on.
It's all right.
We got to get something. We got to get something out of this. We got no information.
Yeah.
Come on, Jake. You got to do better than that. We got the guy right here. We got contact. We got to get some information.
What are you talking about? Out there, were you?
No, I wasn't. You just kind of dropped the ball. You just got to be a little bit more.
Look, this guy,
intense.
this guy is nuts. This guy is creepy. This guy is weird.
Was that a weapon he had?
It was a knife he had. I was 2 feet away from this guy, and whether he can do what
whether he can shapeshift or not, it wasn't fun standing there with him. Okay, so you can say what you want to. I know I didn't find anything out. I just found out that he's dangerous is what I found out.
Well, come on, let's get in here. Let's just figure out where we're going to go from here.
Okay.
The more it is used for something other than good, the more it will distort the person. And in some cases I've heard of, it will literally drive that person insane.
When I told people we were investigating a possible shapeshifter, the first thing they said was werewolf. But you can't really compare the two. Werewolf folklore says that it's a curse and to change from a man to an animal isn't voluntary. But shapeshifters can do that at will, and it's supposed to be used for good. In this case, we weren't hearing anything about doing good.
Well, the challenging thing right now is that we don't have enough surveillance information. I mean, it's a shame that we didn't get some real, information out of the encounter. Now, Jake, it's okay. I know you did your best, and it was certainly a compromising situation. But the reality of our position now is that we're really at a dead end in this case until we can get something else.
I know people like that, and you do too. His response is predictable if you know what buttons to push. I think we can get him in a situation, push his buttons. He'll change if he.
You think we can force him into a situation where he has to shapeshift?
And I don't think he can.
It's got to be a for real thing, for that to happen.
But these people like that, it's nothing but bravado for him.
It's not a bad plan.
Guys, got some info.
What's up?
Carl has an ex-girlfriend. I was able to get her address from the
Really?
police. Maybe we should check it out.
Excellent. Hey, this could be a good break, a good lead. Let's go check it out. Yeah, come on.
We paid a little visit to Jenny Whaley. Sometimes ex-girlfriends can be a good source of information.
Miss Whaley, tell us about your relationship with the person known as Mr. Carl Hunter.
He seemed real nice, did me real good, bought me a couple drinks, talked to me real polite and everything. And he come home with me that night. And then after that, it was kind of weird because he didn't really leave. I mean, he just stayed for a few days, and then all of a sudden one night, said he was going out to the store, didn't think nothing of it, didn't see him for a couple of days. So I thought, he wasn't coming back. Well, I thought I'd mention something about it. I said, you just can't come up in a girl's house, stay with them, eat their food, drink their drinks. And he got all offensive about it. Got really kind of violent, pushed me up against the wall and everything. And that's when I said, don't no man touch me like that, What little bit he had there, took it, put it outside. Didn't hear nothing else from him for a little while. But I heard some stuff outside real late at night, and kind of got me scared. I was starting to get kind of worried because of the attitude he had with me,
Miss Whaley, did you ever hear Mr. Hunter speak about shape-shifting?
I don't really believe in it.
Hey. What is that, Jay?
I heard it. You heard it too,
it's outside.
Right? You
Yeah.
heard it too.
Yeah.
I heard it out here.
There it is again. Come on, let's go. Let's go check it out.
Oh,
Out of the way. Where is it?
I heard it.
Yep. See anything?
JC, can't you get that on my face?
Back there? Yeah. Yeah. Spread out a little bit. Do you see anything, Jake?
I could.
I mean, I can't help it.
It's just out of sight. Yeah. It's staying just far enough away. Do you see anything? I got nothing.
And I'm not. I don't think it's time for us to go back there.
Yeah.
It can come down to the point where they can actually cause physical harm. If they find that you're too strong for them, they have been known to occasionally cause physical harm or even death.
After the night I met Carl Hunter, we thought maybe he suspected he was being tracked and had left town. Turns out that he didn't, but if we had known what was about to happen, we would have been better off if he had left.
Okay. Yes.
Just you.
It will be just me. You have my assurances.
You and me alone.
Okay.
We'll meet.
A meeting?
Yeah, you'll see for yourself.
Can you give me a location?
The warehouse on Mulberry Street.
Okay.
2 hours.
I'm unfamiliar with this area. You're going to need to give me some time.
2 hours. You need to be there.
I just can't do it that
Make
fast.
sure you can. 2 hours or nothing.
All right, I will be there.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. That's him. That's him. We've got to make this happen. We have a meeting. You need to go up and get Dex right now. We need to gather the equipment.
We don't.
I know we don't have time, but we can't miss this opportunity. We've got to go. We've got to do it right now. Let's just go. Yeah, Jake, this is the place.
Sure?
Yeah, this is it. Hey Dex, you want to go in and take a look for us?
It's got setup written all over it, guys.
Just
Dex.
establish a perimeter and sort of make sure it's all okay.
Dex has got setup written on it.
We'll back you up. Watch yourself here, people.
Guys, keep it down, please.
And obviously the encounter is going to happen right in the middle of the room.
In here. Yeah.
We got some natural cover over here. Maybe have one team over here.
We never knew how Hunter got Swain's phone number. Didn't matter, because the clock was ticking.
What do you mean he's coming? You gotta...
Wait, he just appeared!
All right, everybody get in position.
Not even sit down.
Get down, get down.
Get in, get over here, get over here.
Mr. Hunter, I'm Dr. Nathan Swain with Dark Encounters Investigating. I'm a paranormal investigator.
And?
You tell me, sir. You contacted me. I'm just here by your request.
What do you want with me?
I don't want anything. You're the one that contacted me, Mr. Hunter.
You alone?
Yeah, just like we talked. You wanted me to come alone. I'm here alone.
So what do you believe, huh? What do you think you believe?
You contacted me,
No.
Mr. Hunter. What is it that... Why am I here?
Marty, I think you know. You're alone, right?
Yeah, just like you asked on the telephone. I'm alone.
I can trust you.
Yeah, you can trust me, Mr. Hunter.
That means you're not lying to me.
No, I'm not lying.
You're really alone. That means you're really smart or stupid or bright. What are you? You're alone.
Yeah, I'm alone. I'm here alone, but I'm a part of the team.
I don't trust you. Huh?
Nathan! Come on, Dave. Come on. Put something on his neck.
He's bleeding. Watch it behind. It's supposed to be really weak. Stop the bleeding, Jake. We gotta get help. We gotta get out of here. Find the Jake. We can't move. We can't go anywhere. We don't know what's out there. We don't know where it is. Take him out. Oh, we gotta take it out. Let's just watch it. Right. Come on. There. Are we all here? Is everybody here?
We are not. Yeah, just stay in the group. Stay in the group. That's you too, JC. You guys get close. Stay close.
It's moving around. I'm hearing about that.
I can barely feel it.
Quiet.
Let's end it.
I'm running out of here, guys. We gotta do something. Over there. Come on. It's outside. Come on. This way. He went this way. It's over here. There. Next, you go. Go first, Dex. See it in there. I see it in there. It's not moving. I'm not seeing anything move. Looks like he got it. He killed it. What'd you kill? Huh?
Hey, I killed a dog.
What did you kill, man? Do you think
It was
that's
an
what
animal.
it was?
It was a dog. It was
I
something.
think that's what it was.
It was an animal.
You better hope to God it was.
Jake!
No.
Jake, come in! Jake!
Yeah.
Nathan's bad. We've lost his pulse. The ambulance and the police are on
What
the
is
way.
it?
Come back! We have got to get Nathan out of here.
We gotta come back later. It's Nathan. We gotta get through this. We'll come back. Go check it out later.
The story of the Shapeshifter ended that night, and it's our hope that the stories of Nathan Swain and the DEI team will continue.
Mr. Welk, when did this start? Was there an event that triggered this?
Yeah, when our mama died, he went over to the grave site and just started he had a stroke, one of them mind things, and he just hadn't been right since, and he has these, what they call seizures, and he talks to the animals. He gets kind of...
What animals?
Well, he talks to all kind of animals, especially an owl. He talks a lot to an owl. Owl talks back to him.
Does he do anything else in these states besides talk? Or make noises?
Well, his body, yeah, and his body does things that, well, my goodness God, they just ain't right.
Have you taken him to a doctor?
They said there wasn't nothing to help him with. I don't know what to do with him.
Do all these tallies that you have, when you put those up, did you notice a difference? Were they helpful?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did it make him have less?
It seems to do a little bit. Thing of it is, when you put these things up and you do things like that, they'll go away, but they get real agitated before they leave, and they make him do a lot of things that he shouldn't be doing. And then, you know, they leave. That's the way it is.
Now, does he draw every time that he has a reaction?
Yeah, pretty much all the time. Yeah, pretty much all the time. He just comes up and out of the bed, and he draws these things, and then the next thing you know, he maybe even on the floor.
Do you recognize any of these drawings? Do you know what he's drawing?
I don't know what he's drawing. Beats me, I just don't know. I don't know at all. Good.
Luna! They're not here! Luna, it's me!
Something else in that house.
No! We need to be
Any dust will grow.
He's not taking us no more! Let's move it, Jake! We gotta be there now! Waterlog, it's extremely heavy. Somewhere between the waking world and death is that state of being we call sleep. It's in this twilight zone that some say we are most susceptible to things beyond reality. Things like dreams and nightmares, and perhaps even more. Hello, I'm Dr. Nathan Swain, Chief Paranormal Investigator with Dark Encounters Investigated. In a moment, we'll take you on a journey into a case that went far beyond our expectations. A journey into the unknown world of somnambulism. It's a word you may have never heard before, but I can guarantee it's one you'll think about before you go to sleep tonight. Take a deep breath. Hold on tight. Dark Encounters Investigated begins now.
Somewhere out there are worlds other than ours. Worlds of the paranormal and supernatural, where the laws of flesh and blood do not apply. There are times when the thin barrier separating that world from ours is shattered by events and entities too powerful to be contained. And when that happens, a team of paranormal investigators look for answers to those strange and mysterious dark encounters.
It won't be too long now. Yeah, the Skeeter says The case of the somnambulist began routinely enough with a trip on the back roads of a southeastern state. The mission of the DEI team is to document paranormal activity in the most unlikely places.
To your left.
Okay. We had been originally contacted with an intriguing phone call from local physician Dr. Alan Deckard. Accompanying us was Clancy Wheeler, a reporter for the magazine The American Journal. This would be her initiation into the world of paranormal investigation, and it would be a memorable one.
Well, I've known the Welk family for years, ever since I started my practice here. The Welk brothers, Wayne and Andrew, I never had much to do with them until their mother passed away 3 or 4 years ago. They lived there with her, and she had a massive brain hemorrhage. A year or so after that, something happened to Andrew. At first I thought it was a stroke, but tests didn't back that up. He seems to be in a coma of sorts, but there are times when he babbles and talks and looks at you, even scratches out pictures on a paper. It's like a strange sleep state, something like somnambulism.
Dr. Deckard, what is somnambulism?
It's what most people call sleepwalking. You know, I've seen people get up and walk around and change locations and carry on conversations and be asleep the entire time. Somnambulism is a more intense form of this, but in this case, Andrew Welk is never conscious. Yet all of a sudden, he'll come to life and exhibit this strange behavior.
Dr. Deckard, why did you contact the Dark Encounters team about this?
Well, I'm a doctor, so I guess I'm not supposed to believe in these kinds of things, but I've been there and seen what Andrew Welk does. It's frightening. His actions are not his own. It's like something has hold of him and is coming through him. I really can't explain it any other way.
Here. After Dr. Deckard verified his story by showing us Andrew Welk's medical records, he provided directions to the house. Our arrival was supposed to have been anticipated. This is the place. I mean, it's got to be. I mean,
It's got to be someplace.
Yeah, take a look at it.
I've done this kind of thing for years. I trust my gut. And walking up to that rundown house was not a good feeling.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Doing a story on the DEI team was a dream assignment, but when we got to that house, I started to wonder what I'd gotten myself into.
This has got to be the place. It's got to be. It's got to be the place.
I see him going.
Hey, whoa! Whoa, Mr. Welk?
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Nathan Swain. Just calm down. We're Dr. Nathan Swain. We're with Dark Encounters. This is the Dark Encounters investigative team. Dr. Deckard. Dr. Deckard should have told you that we were coming. We're here to see your brother. We just want to help you. We just want to help you.
Okay. Seems like I remember something about that.
Right.
He said he told.
All right, just relax. We're here to help. That's all. Upon entering the house, there was the strong smell of decay.
I'm not getting it.
Nothing on the EMF, Jake. Man, Luna, how are you feeling?
It smells awful in here.
Yeah.
The homemade talismans around the house told me something was going on. I also detected an unusual aura left by a presence, like a wake in the water when a boat passes. I'm sensitive to those things, which is sometimes a curse as well as a gift.
We'll go up here.
As we entered the room of Andrew Welk, the decaying smell became even stronger. It smelled like death.
He's a pitiful sight. Things happen. Then he does some drawings.
Drawings? When's that happen?
What drawings?
When he has those spells.
I don't know. Luna, what do you think?
I just need to.
Luna? I don't know, Jake.
In my work, there have been only a few times where I've met people I call receivers. These are people who are channels from the spirit world into this one, and it's usually involuntary. They don't ask for it. They don't want it. And while it can happen, it's very seldom that it occurs while the person is asleep or unconscious, but that seemed to be what was happening here.
Okay, so well, let's hear it, team. What do you... After a survey of the home, we discussed a possible go-ahead on the investigation.
I think so. There's definitely something happening with the brother upstairs. Definitely. I think the talismans are here for a reason and that they're doing their job. They're pretty strong.
Is that why we're not getting any readings on the EMF? Jake, how can we explain that?
It could be. I mean, I trust the EMF, but I also trust Luna. It's kind of inexplicable. It's inexplicable to me why I'm not getting it.
Okay, so we're all in agreement, though, that we need to move forward. We need to turn this into a full investigation and make an official case out of this.
Nathan, I don't know. I have to say that I'm not sure about this. Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on here, but anybody could hang bones from a ceiling and say something's going on. We need to keep a healthy skepticism about this.
Tell me what you think.
Well, these redneck country boys could be thinking they're going to take us for a ride. They're going to trick us and do all this kind of stuff.
Well, that's...
Never mind.
Okay, so listen. We know we've got to get our equipment in here regardless. We've got to get our surveillance cameras. We've got to get our audio equipment. We've got to get the motion detecting instruments out here. Let's just go through...
What's he talking about?
We're just talking about how we're going to help you. Mr. Welk, we're just here to help you.
I thought I heard him say something about hoax.
No, we're just talking. We always do this every time we go. We just talk about what we're planning.
But what we're going to do is we're going to help you. And we're here to help you. We're here to help your brother. We're here to help Andrew. So you got to just let us do our job. Thank you, Mr. Welk. Okay, so we've got some work to do. All right, we each know what our responsibilities are. Let's just come together as a team and we'll get this done.
You ready, Bjorn?
With the consent of Wayne Welk, the DEI team went to work. Our intent was to detect and record the presence of any paranormal invasion of the house.
What we have here, this is kind of like the base station, is what we call the paranormal perimeter system. That's kind of our name for it, PPS for short. These units can be placed around the place where we are, the building, the structure, whatever it is. By placing these, not necessarily at entrance, but close to one, this will let us know, when they perform a perimeter, this will let us know what, if anything, enters that field and the direction it came from.
It's now 11:07 p.m. We've fully outfitted the house with surveillance equipment, including the paranormal perimeter system. Now begins the most challenging phase of any investigation, waiting. But whatever happens, if and when we see anything, you will experience it along with us. Mr. Welk, is there any way for us to know when these episodes are going to occur?
It just happens. You never know.
It's now 2:41 a.m. Nothing to report. Plan is to wait until...
Something big is going on. Something's happening. Something's heading here.
Not watching us anymore. No! No! We need to be able to see. No! Come on, buddy.
brother. It's okay, brother. It's okay. It's okay, buddy.
What do you make of this?
Okay.
Who are you? What do you want? What do you...
This is, it really is perfect to look at. No way he's faking this.
Some of these things, JC, that he's saying have got to be important. They've got to come in and play here somehow. And the word water...
Trapped?
Trapped, that's
Trapped.
right.
Hey, we have to review
Woods,
the tape.
yeah.
Yeah, we can look over that again, but one thing I know for sure is that the direction the paranormal presence was coming from, according to the PTS, was the northeast. I mean, there's no
Really?
doubt about it.
That's
It's from that
huge.
direction, and that gives us a direction to go in, to backtrack.
That thing
Sure.
just got this.
And you know, Jake, these images that he's creating have got to be a part of this whole puzzle. It can't be coincidence that some of these things he's drawing look like the words that we're hearing him say. I mean, these look like they could be water.
That
he
would be-
did
that looks like
keep
water.
saying woods over and over again.
Yeah, and this could be, certainly could be woods. I don't know.
You got stuff like almost like a skeletal, like jack-o'-lantern face. So there's all kinds of stuff. It's just
There's something
it's a
here,
puzzle.
and we need
Yeah.
to find out what it is.
In the following days, our presence and purpose became known to the residents of the nearby town. And that's where we got a surprising missing piece of the story.
I don't know if you knew this or not, but there's actually was 3 Welk brothers. Most people think there was only 2, but there's actually 3. There was another brother named Aaron. All 3 brothers used to live in the house with their mom, and they would fight and drink and carry on and tear things up. One day their mother died, and it was basically they ruled it as a stroke. After she died, they buried her, of course, and the fighting even got worse in the house, the partying and drinking and such. Well, one day, one of their brothers, Andrew, was found laying on the grave, and on his mother's grave, he was unconscious. The doctor took him in, and they ruled it basically as a stroke or a seizure, but he has never regained consciousness.
He was unconscious in pretty much the same condition he is now. I put him in the hospital, but his brothers refused to have him put in an institution. They said they could care for him at home, and that's where they took him.
So they put him in the house, and they took care of him, waited on him hand and foot, you know, everything. It caused a tremendous amount of strife between the 2 brothers, and they fought even more. Well, one day they had this knockdown, drag-out fight, and now Aaron, let me tell you this, Aaron was expecting a court date coming up. He was in trouble with the law. He had some different charges coming up. He knew that. Well, one day they had a knockdown, drag-out fight. Aaron just said, I'm sick of this. I can't handle this. So one day he just packed his bags, walked out the front door, walked across the field, and the last time he was seen was walking through the woods. He just left, and we've never seen him since.
This could be a different story because now we have Wayne, who's the only brother we can talk to. We have one missing we didn't even know about, and the other one upstairs in a coma. I mean, how do we know Wayne didn't have something to do with one or both of those?
Jake, I think you're right. I mean, certainly we have to keep him
Absolutely.
in mind
We need
as
to-
a suspect if indeed this turns out to be foul play or some
Absolutely,
type of
you
criminal.
keep going. You know, my reporter instinct.
Well,
tells
look,
me-
we don't care about reporter instinct, honey. Just do your stories, we'll do our stuff, and we'll all be okay. We'll get this done.
But me and Daddy used to do a lot.
We were now concerned for our safety around Wayne Welk, but the investigation had to continue. We backtracked along the northeastern trail of the energy force verified by the Paranormal Perimeter System. We were looking for a point of origin. Mr. Welk, tell us about these drawings again. Can you give us any insight into why it is that your brother is drawn to create these images?
No. He used to draw on the table, and I put him this paper down so he could be drawing on it. It just comes when he has them fits. I don't really know anything about them.
I just see random.
Well, now this is the image that he created last night.
That's what he did last night.
This is the drawing from last night.
You know, you got a lot of trees. Could be trees, think? Maybe?
Yeah, could be trees.
Now, Mr. Welk, did you say that your mother was buried in a cemetery near here?
Yeah, right out that way.
Paranormal activity increases during the evening. Whatever was possibly coming through Andrew Welk seemed to be leading us, and we were going to follow. It's now 10:03 p.m. DEI agent Bev Shepard has remained behind, along with Luna Devine, to continue the surveillance of Andrew Welk. We're heading northeast toward the cemetery. From there, we'll attempt to use the words and drawings of Andrew Welk to determine where to go next. Mr. Welk, are we approaching the area?
Yeah, right down here.
And you're sure this is the spot?
Yeah, that's where I found Andy, right there at Mama's grave.
You know, Jake, I mean, I really think there are some parts of this landscape that really resemble the illustrations.
Right.
You think
Yeah, I mean, I really think so.
Nathan?
There could be some words he was dropping.
Yeah, this is Nathan. Go ahead.
No problem, Ken. How about you guys?
Yeah, everything's fine. There's nothing to report yet. We're still looking for the gravesite. Jake, I mean, I still see some real similarity in the landscape to the illustration.
Look here.
What do we got here? Is this a lake of some kind?
Ew, it's gross.
Mr. Welk, can we get around this?
Yeah, we can walk up that way.
We can go up and around it?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on. Oh, hold on.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, Bev, this is Nathan. What's going on? Bev, come back in. We lost you. Got nothing. Okay, we gotta reestablish communications. Let's get back to the van on the double and let's find out what's going on.
What's going on?
This is Nathan. If you can hear me, we're on the way. Bev Shepard, copy. Do you come in? Bev, if you can hear me, this is Nathan. We're on our way. Let's move it, Jake. We gotta be there now. Bev, this is Nathan. Hold on. We're on our way. Everybody inside. They're not here! They're not here!
Hey!
Not here. They're not here. I don't see them anywhere.
Hey, they're not here! What's wrong? Luna, it's me! It's Nathan! Look at me! Check on her.
Stay with her.
Something else was in that house.
Something was in the house with you?
Something. More than us.
All right,
and that
calm
man.
down. It's all right.
She hurt?
I think she's okay. You all right?
Yeah.
All right.
We need to check on Luna. She's in bad shape.
Well,
He must still be upstairs.
Andy!
Mr. Welk?
Andy! What are you doing?
Andy, all right?
I don't know. Andy! Andy!
Jake, look at this. The drawing was a human figure in the same position as Andrew Welk was found on the floor. And the lines around the figure seemed to suggest water. It's now 3:41 a.m. We've returned to our earlier location by the pond. Like the pieces of a bizarre puzzle, the images created by Andrew Welk seem to somehow correspond to the landscape around us. The trees, the water of the pond, and finally this most recent image created by Andrew in his most recent episode. We're here to continue the search.
What is it? Hey, Nathan.
We got something?
What is that?
Jake, it looks like we got a chain going down into the water. No, it's not going anywhere. We're gonna have to go in and check it out. We were being led to the pond. Using waders, J.C. Hewer and I prepared to follow the chain into the water. Okay, the chain leads to, looks like a It's a bear trap. It's an old iron or steel bear trap. It's extremely heavy. I don't think I can get it out of I don't think I can get it out. Oh, the footing is really miserable. I mean, it's really treacherous. Okay, I got something else out here, Jake. It's hard to tell. I don't know. It's a piece of fabric. It's like a big piece of cloth or something. It's waterlogged. It's extremely heavy. All right, can you give me a hand with this?
Oh, wait.
Blanket.
Okay.
Wet. Yeah, blanket.
Jake? Yeah. I'm afraid we got a body in the water.
Aaron! Aaron!
Right here.
Easy, guys.
Right here.
Easy.
Right here.
Okay,
What do we got here?
agents, we've got a crime scene on our hands. We've got a body in the water. Yeah, I'm sure.
When we found the remains, it all made sense. But we never wanted to end like this.
By dawn, we had notified the local county sheriff's department. A body had been found. Aaron Welk was no longer a missing person. And apparently, his brother Andrew had completed his mission. The age and decay of Aaron Welk's remains made it difficult for the coroner to determine an exact cause of death. But the report did speculate that as he walked through the woods at night, Aaron Welk wandered into the metal jaws of a bear trap. With his lower leg crushed and losing blood, he likely stumbled into the pond and drowned. As the pond's water level dropped over the years, Aaron Welk's body was gradually revealed, just waiting for someone to be led to him. Until Andrew Welk was apparently used as a channel of communication, no one had any idea where to look for the missing brother. But is dialogue from the dead possible? One mystery solved, but many more remain. I'm Dr. Nathan Swain with Dark Encounters Investigated. Thank you for joining us. And remember, in the world of the paranormal and supernatural, knowledge is your best weapon. Stay informed.